I am Amy Rothmanco. My son Drew and his partner Riley and I operate the Ross Farm and Ross Farm Mercantile. So we raise heritage and rare breed sheep on the farm in Pennsylvania, and everything we do is all about the sheep. We have nothing but sheep. Well, we have no fiber animals but sheep. We also have miniature Mediterranean donkeys, a Clydesdale, and some poultry. Um, so anyways, he will be coming to us live from the barn as soon as he can get on to the Zoom here. I am here in the studio. So what we do is 100% breed specific, natural, minimally processed fiber and yarn. Some of our yarn is dyed, but it is dyed in the wool, which is different than being dyed in the skein like an indie dyer would do. Because what we are able to do is dye the wool in the fleece form and then scour it and card it and spin it. So it comes together as a much more homogeneous and even product. You will not need to alternate skeins because it is dyed the entire way through in a very, very even. Um, oh, he can't get in. Let me try to send him an invite to this, and hopefully that will get him on. So everything that we dye, which you can see over here, the blue and the funky down here, and then over here, the natural or the Lester Longwool. Oh, and Drew is on. Okay, let's get him unmuted and hopefully you'll be able to see him. So the first sheep we're going to talk about today is the Jacob sheep. So the Jacob sheep are supposedly the sheep from the Bible. They were raised primarily in the 18th and 19th century on UK estates as a purely decorative sheep, which I find interesting. They are black and white spotted, 2, 4, or 6 horns, and really, really cool looking. We'll be able to see one with Drew here as soon as I can get him unmuted. Drew, if you can hear me, you are muted. I see your shadow. I see the field. So let me talk about our yarns while he is getting us a Jacob sheep. Oh, there's a Jacob sheep right there. Okay, so they are black and white spotted. They are 2, 4, or 6 horned. This happens to be one of our Jacob sheep. Not sure which one it is. Drew could probably give us a bit of a clue. Everybody is getting sheared this week, so you will see them in full fleece. She is not used to wearing a halter, so she is not going to stand pretty. We do not have show sheep. We have sheep sheep. Okay, it looks like Drew is now online and unmuted. So if he would like to tell us a little bit about his Jacob sheep he has there, I will be standing here holding some Jacob yarn. We have two that I pulled to look at.
What do you
Drew?
want to know?
Show us her horns. We talked about she has black and white spots. She has 2, 4, or 6 horns. That looks like a 4 horn to me.
This is a four horn.
She's an angry 4 horn.
Yeah, she's not having a good time.
Um, Drew has about 25 Jacob sheep, 35
No,
Jacob.
we have about 40.
Oh, okay. Well, Drew has way more sheep than I think he has because Jacobs are his favorite. Oh, and there's her lamb. She has a lamb with her. Yay. So from our flock of Jacob sheep, we produce 100% natural, minimally processed, breed specific yarns. I pulled a couple to look at today. We have Willow, Willow is a black and white barber pole. It's a 2-ply. It's a bulky. And to make this, we separated the black and white fleece out into the 2 different shades and then spun them separately and plied them together. Drew lots of times will be wearing his willow hat that I made for him out of this yarn. Probably not wearing it today. It's a little warm. And then I pulled also Chief, which is a blended Jacob. So we blend the black and white portions of the fleece together and it becomes this lovely heathery brownish gray, kind of a medium gray. This is really squishy, really sheepy, really delightful. Seems we just lost Drew's video feed, so that's fine. These are both bulkies that I happen to pull here. Then I also pulled our sport weight, which is Alice. It's from a different sheep's fleece. And these ones are a little bit of a darker gray. They are a sport weight. So you'll see all of our labels will have the name of the sheep, the type of sheep that it is. This is mirrored and it's making me crazy. And it will also have the yardage and the price on each of the labels. So you should be able to see a picture of a Jacob sheep and her name and everything. This one is Alice. It is a 3-ply sport weight and also very, very squishy. Very, very squishy. Very, very squishy. Lovely. We also have it in fleece form or I'm sorry, in roving form. If you're a spinner, when we do our rovings, we do not homogenize the black and white together. We leave a little bit of streakiness to it. I love the texture that that brings. And if you ever decide you're going to work with a Jacob fleece, the very cool thing is that because it's the 2 colors, you can blend them together in different ratios to make yourself a natural gradient from white all the way to black. So that's sort of fun if you want to do a gradient or an ombre effect with your wool. I'm not sure what he's bringing up next, but we're going to talk about some other stuff that we've got here. So I'm really, really excited. We just got back from the mill, a restock of our Anna Cotswold worsted weight. This is named, the shape that makes them was named for my assistant, Anna Sylvester, who spent several years helping me with the business. And we named one of our first Cotswold lambs that was born on the farm after Anna and 2 of her friends that worked in a shop in Pittsburgh that we used to go to. And I love the Cotswold because I don't know if you can see it really well, but it actually has this amazing luster to it. And it's just gorgeous. And if you were looking for something to dye that is a long wool, has a long staple length, this would be amazing because it has this natural luster to it that gives it the appearance of a silk blend, although it is 100% wool. So this is so new and just back from the mill that I didn't even get the labels on it yet, but it is up on the website as Anna. And it's a Cotswold worsted. Everything that I've showed you so far has been available for the Shave 'em to Save 'em project as well. I think Drew is now going to tell us a little bit about his Shetland friend who is trying desperately to leave the meeting. But Shetlands are from an island off the coast of Scotland, and they are feisty little girls. So if she does not feel like being on a halter today, she is absolutely not going to tolerate it. Oh, I see the herding dog puppy behind her. Drew, tell us about your friend there.
She's a all black Shetland.
And I have a black Shetland. Drew, talk amongst yourselves while I go fetch some black Shetland.
Guess I could. Did you cover anything about the farm?
I did not.
So our farm has been our family since it was built in 1910. Mom was the 5th generation. I'm the 6th generation here. We've been wool sheep farmers the whole time, all the way back from when we left Scotland in 1746. We raise 5 breeds right now. We have about 100 sheep total, but I'd like to double that in the next year. We live in a little town in southwestern Pennsylvania, just south of the city of Pittsburgh, called 84, spelled out, not just a number. And we farm about 250 acres total to make hay for our sheep. And then we also have a couple donkeys, Clydesdale horses, some chickens, and a few goats.
I forgot about Laverne and Shirley. I did mention the other livestock, but I forgot about Laverne and Shirley. So Shetlands were my late husband Scooter's very, very favorite sheep. And I pulled the black Shetland for you to see. It is just as close to black as it can possibly be. And this is amazing if you're doing color work because it will never run or bleed like a dyed black wool would. This is the color it's going to be. All of our natural shades, the blacks, the grays, the beiges, the browns, they are all straight off the sheep, that color. We do not dye anything black or gray. Does Riley have a lamb? It looks like Riley has a lamb. Is that a Shetland baby?
This is Flippy. He lived in our bathroom for 2 weeks, and now he's basically like a dog. So,
So part of raising sheep is having bottle babies. And when you have bottle babies, they tend to live in the bathroom. And if you see, she's now being overrun by her bottle baby lambs and also Daisy, their new Australian Shepherd puppy. Rose is someplace, but I think that Daisy thinks that the two little lambs that Riley is holding may be siblings of hers because they're all about the same age. Well, the lambs are a couple weeks old, but they've only had the puppy for a couple of weeks. So they've all kind of been raised together. And yes, they do become like dogs. So I also in Shetland, I also have the father of the lamb that you just saw, Jack. He is an Emsket cat mugget, which means he's this lovely, lovely pale gray with a black undercarriage. And he would be the father of our Shetland lambs. It is a beautiful, beautiful, very, very soft, very strong gray. And everybody always asks me if my yarns are next to skin soft. And my answer is always yes. The Shetland and our CVM is always going to be a little bit softer than all of the others, but as long as you're not crocheting yourself a wool bikini, I think you'll be fine to wear any of our yarns next to your skin. I also have Jack's son, who is just slightly lighter. And this is Jacques. These are all available on the website, therossfarm.com. Jacques is the son of Jack. Drew named him. Don't come at me. So his name is Jacques. There are those two, and then there are two of our UK friends, Shetland yarns on the website as well. What else do you have for us there, Drew?
That's about it for right now.
All righty. Well,
Just a view of the sheep.
let me oh, yep, there's all the sheep on the hillside. I'm also going to tell you about some of our we talked about the dyed in the wool yarns that we create, and this is one of our shades of Leicester long wool. We have this this lovely kind of a sky blue, and then we have the ones you can see on this side behind me. There's Mojito, Tuscadero, Extreme Purple, and Bikini. They are named for Jeep colors because I love my Wranglers. And they are dyed in the wool, Leicester long wool, excellent for sweaters, excellent for color work. To coordinate along with those, we have a Cheviot wool that we created. Drew, did you happen to pull anybody's Cheviot today?
Hold on, I'm working on it right now.
Okay, cool. And the lambs are running around. So this is one of my very favorite things. We have another batch of it coming back from the mill any day now. but this is the first batch that we did. It is a 3-ply Cheviot DK weight. And the way that we did this is 2 of the plies are dyed in the wool randomly, and 1 of the plies is natural. So if you can see, it is a 3-ply yarn. There's the camera, maybe. The 3-ply yarn, and you can see each of the plies is a different color. Now they do sync up occasionally, but then they get really interesting and cool. I'm going to put these up close so you can see them, maybe. So there's a bunch of these in the on the website. And this is one of my very favorite things. I love working with dyed in the wool yarn products, and I love working with these crazy variegates. So this is the only way I can do a variegate with dyed in the wool product, and I just love it. So one of our very favorite things that we have that a lot of other people don't are some of the super funky, weird, cool, rare breeds. So this is Florida Cracker. It is a 2-ply. It is a bit of a rustic spin. It is milled for me in Florida. We have a Florida Cracker sheep on the farm. Her name is Babette, and I just adore her. Oh, we found a Cheviot. So this is what a Cheviot looks like, and her little friend, child. So let's let Drew tell us a little bit about a Cheviot and see what happens.
This is Barbara Walters.
Oh, this is our farm spoke sheep. She is
who's yet to be named.
She is the star of the Washington Business District video series, Barbara Sheep in the City. And last year she went to town and was the spokesperson for Drew's new program there in Washington called The Running of the Wools, to promote sheep and wool and highlight the history of sheep and wool in Washington County, Pennsylvania. And last year her son's name was Mr. Big. So if you look, this baby is only a couple of weeks old and he's enormous. So I think we should call him even bigger, but nobody has adopted that name. But he is quite large. He is a 2-week-old lamb.
I can grab it.
And Barbara is probably our best one on a lead because she does go everywhere and do everything.
I'm gonna hold him up next.
She has been to a cafe for lunch. She has been to a bar for cocktails. She went to a hair salon and got extensions.
She got her nails done.
She got her nails done. And then she led the Christmas parade too, didn't she?
She did, yes.
Yes, she is quite a celebrity. So we have plenty of Cheviot in stock. And one of the cool things that we did with the Cheviot is we did a series of socks, which you will find on our website. They're 100% Cheviot socks, grown in Washington County, spun in Michigan, and knit all on small family farms in Minnesota. So we did the socks, and we also did hats. So I've got the clips on these, which I should take off. But the hats are 100% natural Cheviot, and then they have the dyed wool for the snowflakes. We have somebody asking a question here, so I'm going to try to answer that. Would you be able to spotlight both cameras so we can see the sheep? Right now we see who is speaking. If you go to the top to view and hit gallery view, you will be able to see the sheep and me at the same time. So anybody who would like to see both things that are going on, you can go to the top of your Zoom screen, tap view, and set it to gallery instead of speaker. That would be Rosebud. Rosebud is the head Australian Shepherd. She's the head herding dog. And Riley has a wonderful little family there. So the hats come in several different colors of snowflakes. If you are into hats or you need a gift, you don't want to have to knit yourself, there are several different shades on the website, as well as the socks, which are either cream or gray. So we did that out of our Cheviot this year. We also used some of our Leicester long wool to make blankets, and that was a really cool process. There are only a few of them left, one queen size, and I think 4 or 5 throws total left. They were made from our Leicester long wool, spun in Michigan, and then woven in a small family mill on Prince Edward Island. So that was a really, really cool project to do. We've dreamt about that for years, and we were really glad to be able to bring that to everybody. Drew, do you have anything you'd like to say about Barbara and the Cheviot breed?
Cheviots are my favorite. We've been raising North Country Cheviots since our family was in Scotland. They are feisty. They hold their own. They're very hardy sheep. They make a beautiful, nice white fleece that like Mom said, makes our nice socks. A pair of which I've been doing some R&D testing on. And I'm proud to say I've worn the same pair of socks for about 6 months now without washing them every day through farm work and meetings and everything. And there's no holes. They don't smell. They don't stand up on their own. And they're pretty durable. And Riley can corroborate that statement.
Yes.
That's about it.
The cool thing about wool socks is that wool is antimicrobial, flame retardant, and can be used for just about anything. They're warm in winter, cool in summer. A lot of the hikers here near my home in Ohio in Cuyahoga Valley National Park are now wearing our socks. So I think that's really, really cool. So if you are a big hiker, biker, athlete of any kind, the wool socks are kind of amazing. What else shall we show to our friends here? We have a few more minutes. Does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions that they would like us to answer about different breeds of sheep or raising sheep on our farm in southwestern Pennsylvania? I'm going to just go grab some more yarn off the shelf over here. This is one of my favorites. This goes really, really well with our white Cheviot yarns or even our colored Cheviot yarns. Pretty much any of our yarns, actually. It is Black Welsh Mountain. This is one of the Shave 'em to Save 'em breeds. This is actually raised on a neighboring farm by some friends of ours. One of the things that we like to do is to buy the wool from our neighboring farms to increase our ability to provide yarn to you all. And when we go to shows, have a bigger array of breeds available. So this is nearly black. And it's another one that is excellent for color work because it's genetically black. So it will not bleed or lose its color onto white wool. So if you're doing some black and white work, or you need a really dark accent color in your color work, but you're concerned because there's white in there and you don't want it to bleed, this is a really, really excellent option because it's genetically black instead of chemically black. So that's one of my big favorites. And we have sold a ton of that this year because it is just so easy to work with and not have to worry about heat setting it or color fast testing it or whether it is going to lose its shade. And if you look on Instagram and pick up our Ross Farm tag, there is a sweater on there that one of our customers knit in the Black Welsh Mountain that is absolutely spectacular. Love, love, love. Sorry, I may have missed this, but where in Southwestern PA? Also, where is your spinner in Michigan? I'm a Michigander. We are about 30 miles south of Pittsburgh and 30 miles east of the West Virginia line and 30 miles north of the West Virginia line as well. So we are right in the far left corner of the state of Pennsylvania, down on the Ohio and West Virginia border. We're near Pittsburgh in a little tiny town called 84, Pennsylvania. It's in Washington County. Washington County was the biggest producer of sheep and wool in the United States about 300 years ago. And for a very long time, Washington County was the leader in sheep and wool production. And as Drew mentioned before, we have been doing it as Ross's in the same area of southwestern Pennsylvania for about 300 years. Since our family came over from Scotland, they landed in the New Jersey area, came over the mountains, and set up a farm there in southwestern Pennsylvania. Drew is on the 1910 farm. We have cousins down the road on the 1830 Ross farm. And then there's a 1740-ish Ross farm, 1748, I believe it is, just down the road from that one. That one has been sold out of the family, but that's where we came from. And Drew's farm, 1910 Ross Farm, is actually on the National Register of Historic Places. So you can actually go on the Department of the Interior website and read all about our outbuildings and the history of the farm. It's called the Frank L. Ross Farm. And Frank L. Ross Sr. was my great-grandfather, and Frank L. Ross Jr. was my grandfather. So Sr. created the farm. He bought the land from his father, Eli. So it has been in our family since 1894. And Drew is sixth generation on the farm. One of the mills that we use 3, sometimes 4, but one of our mills is in Frankenmuth, Michigan. It's called Zeilinger's. Oh, that's one of our little miniature donkeys. Drew, would you like to tell us about her? She doesn't have any wool,
That's
but
Coke.
she's cute as heck.
That's Coke.
That's Coke. He's our tiny, tiny miniature donkey, miniature Mediterranean donkey, Jack. And he's starting to shed, so he's gonna lose his winter hair. They get very, very fuzzy in the wintertime, and then they look really awful for a couple of weeks while all of their fur falls out. And then they get slick and shiny for the summer. Okay, so we answered that. I used 3 other mills as well, primarily just the 3. But Frankenmuth, Michigan is where a lot of this product has come from. We also use a mill in Pennsylvania, a mill in Florida, and a mill in the UK. All of our UK line is made at the Natural Fiber Company, which you may know from their own products and the products of Blacker Yarns, Sue Blacker, rest in peace. She used the Natural Fiber Company primarily too. Oh, so everybody's on the website. So I wanted to mention that the reason he has 100 now and is looking to increase to 200 is because until very recently, we also had American Milking Devon cattle, which have gone to another farm just up the road from there. A gentleman retired and decided he wanted to raise rare breed cattle. So the American Milking Devons live there now. And so Drew is able to go back to primarily sheep production. We raised the Devons for a little while, and we discovered we're really, really sheep people. So the cattle went to live with Kurt, and now Drew can start ramping his numbers back up. Do we have any more questions? We're down to the last like 30 seconds or so. If you can see behind me, we have a ton of yarn here in the studio. Oh, well, thank you very much. We will be at Maryland Sheep and Wool. We will be at New York Sheep and Wool I am teaching at the Main Fiber Frolic. I am teaching at Estes Park Wool Market. I'm coming to a fiber festival near you. And if you have a guild and would like to learn more about working with breeds that aren't merino, please feel free to contact us through the website. We are always looking for an opportunity to educate about rare breeds and how to work with breeds that are not merino. Merino is wonderful, but there's a lot of stuff out there that is too. So,
And if you're in the area, feel free to reach out to us. We've got a little shop on the farm, and we'd be happy to show you around and show you the sheep. Just
yes,
please make an appointment because we're not always here.
Yes, please do contact us through the website. We are not open to the public on a daily basis, but Drew and Riley are very, very excited to have people come over and meet the sheep. And we have sharing day coming up here in the next week or so. So we will have some raw fleeces available. And yeah, that's pretty much it for us. If you don't have any other questions, thank you so much for stopping by. We were really afraid we were going to be sitting here talking to ourselves. And I'm so glad that all of you spent the last 30 minutes with us. There's Riley and the girls. Here's Rosebud and Daisy. They are coming to say hello, and the sheep are headed up the hillside. So until we see you somewhere down the road, see you guys. Thanks so much for stopping by.